The man was clearly beaten to a pulp, but the mastermind beside them was panicking like crazy. Because she, who had transmigrated in Tothbook, knew better than anyone else. All of this is just an act, clearly possessing Jimin's power. But this big villain, I just love it when others bully him. Maintaining a fragile appearance, just to get even more excited during the counterattack. So, while reading the novel, his unhinged traits the entire time were dancing wildly on Jagger's kinks, but sending her into the world of the book. Facing the culprit who strangled her to death, she just wanted to drop dead on the spot. Even scarier was, she had now even slept with him. Looking at the tall, handsome man beside her, Jagger tentatively called out his name. He sneered, "Now you know who I am?" Jagger instantly felt her scalp go numb. Oh God, so what the system said earlier was true. Just 10 minutes ago, the system told her she had transmigrated into a Beast World novel. The original host was a vicious supporting female character. Relying on her background, she snatched away the female lead's 5 beast husbands. As a result, they drugged her the day before the wedding and sent her into the room of the story's biggest villain, the Underground City Lord. The other party was in heat, irritable and aggressive. He directly strangled her to death and threw her into the beast pit. Now, all she had to do was survive, because 5 previous hosts had already been beaten by Yuan. Jagger was still in a state of nervous confusion when she heard Yuan coldly speak. Last night, her survival instincts instantly skyrocketed. Last night was actually a misunderstanding. The air seemed to freeze for a few seconds. Yuan's face turned even colder. "You marked me, yet you don't want to take responsibility?" Jagger froze. Marking? She remembered that in the original novel setting, after a female marks a male, a totem of the female would appear on the male's body, signifying that he completely belonged to her. Not only would he gradually become physiologically dependent on her, but harming her would also rebound on him with equal damage. But for a mark to succeed, generally, both parties' compatibility had to be above 80%. Jagger glanced at Yuan. Sure enough, there was a totem over his heart, though she couldn't see it clearly. Did this mean she wouldn't end up like the original host, dead on the spot? As she pondered, a beeping sound suddenly rang out. Yuan pressed the terminal's answer button and coldly uttered a single word, "Speak." The voice on the other end replied with utmost deference, "5 men came here. He said he was here to see his runaway fiancée. Yuan is acting all high and mighty-like he's never getting married." I could hear the sarcasm in his tone. Jagger thought for a moment before asking, "Can I talk to them for a bit?" She didn't dare act arrogant just because of the mark. After all, the person in front of her was the crazy villain who nearly took the male lead down with him. Better to play it safe and bide her time. Yuan didn't say a word. He tossed the terminal over. After catching it, Jagger immediately had Rinli answer the call. He was the oldest among the 5 beast husbands, and also the one who pushed the hardest to break off the engagement. On the other end, Rinli was stunned to hear Jagger's voice. The Underground City Lord was born mutated and had killed countless females who tried to conquer him. Yet Jagger was still alive. Did she have some hidden trump card they didn't know about? He steadied himself and picked up the terminal. The tone was laced with disdain. "What tricks are you up to now?" Only to hear Jagger speak calmly. "Are all 5 of you here? Perfect timing, let's call off the engagement today." Rinli seemed almost unable to believe what he heard. But their dislike for Jagger pushed them to give it a try. Besides, all 5 of them were S-rank high-tier beastmen. Why would they fear a powerless female? So the 5 of them followed the attendants into the underground city. Meanwhile, in the city Lord's bedroom at that moment, Yuan grew curious after hearing Jagger's words. "You're breaking off the engagement? Everyone in the upper district knows you were head over heels for them." Jagger wanted to say, "Didn't I already die once over that?" But what actually came out was, "I've had a change of heart now. I don't want Toba Simp anymore." Yuan let out a cold laugh. "Then who else do I want to snatch?" Jagger froze for a moment. Suddenly thought oft Empire's rules. Every female must, by the age of 20, have at least 3 beast husbands. Today happens to be her birthday. I remember the marriage system matches beast marks based on genetics. We'll see when the time comes. Then it occurred to me again that I had just taken the purity of this 25-year-old virgin beast last night. So I quietly suggested, "Why don't you follow me too?" Yuan said nothing, just stared at her coldly. The heavy hostility seemed ready to swallow her whole. Jagger immediately backed down. "Fine. You don't have to follow me. Let's just pretend nothing ever happened." She visibly relaxed, which only deepened the gloom in those golden slit pupils. The 5 beast husbands expected to see Jagger severely wounded, utterly despairing. Yet, who would have thought she was standing unharmed under the eaves? Their gaze was filled with detachment and indifference. "Rinli was the first to speak. You can call off the engagement with us. Is it true?" Jagger curled his lips slightly before lifting it. "I have conditions." Hearing this, the 5 beast husbands' faces flashed with expressions of, "as expected. What a vicious woman," and other looks of disdain. Jagger pretended not to see. Those few are ruthless. They follow Belle's lead blindly. No longer loyal. No reason to keep them around. Besides, sending the original owner to the underground city, they pulled it off flawlessly. Right now, there's no way to demand justice. But annoying them a little is still doable. Jagger counted on his fingers as he began settling the score. Rinli said, "I voted for you millions of times. And the fireworks I booked for you afterward. The haute couture dresses and all that. You must pay me back with interest. Oren's training partner charges by the hour. I made this nutritious juice myself. Material cost and labor fee." Before she could finish speaking, Rinli impatiently cut her off. "Enough. It's all about money, isn't it? After the engagement is called off, I'll compensate you double." Jagger was satisfied upon hearing this. "Also, you must sign a contract with me, guaranteeing you'll never harm me." A few of the males were visibly displeased. The Empire has equipped every adult male with a wristband. Once the contract is signed, they must strictly abide by it. Otherwise, they'll not only face punishment from the wristband, but also imprisonment. The youngest, Rowan, couldn't hold back. "Why should we?" Jagger shrugged. "Then wait to be forcibly married. The Empire allows a female up to 10 husbands anyway. I can always find new ones. You'll be stuck with me for life." Rinli was the first to agree to the terms. "We accept. Let's go through the formalities now." Jagger didn't waste any more words. Drafted a contract via her terminal. Had them all sign and fingerprint it. Then headed to the marriage and fertility center with them. About 10 minutes later, at the entrance of the center, Belle hurried over. "You guys are so slow." The 5 beast husbands saw her and immediately surrounded her, glaring warily at Jagger. Belle pressed her lips together. "Don't worry. Ari won't do anything to me. What's more, you two're still engaged. You should be the one taking care of her." Rinli held her hand. Her proud expression softened. "Someone like that doesn't deserve your concern." Jagger and Belle both come from noble families. They're relatives and sworn rivals. This scene immediately caught the attention of others. Jagger really has the worst luck. Her beast husband cheated on her right in front of her. He was never hers to begin with. These beast husbands are all S rank. How could they possibly be matched with someone like her who has no special abilities? Jagger acted as if she didn't hear the gossip. She directly booked a number, found a staff member, and canceled the engagement. 5 minutes later, the engagement was dissolved. A translucent panel appeared in front of Jagger. "Respected Miss Jagger, please wait. The system is conducting genetic matching for you. Estimated number of beast husbands, 3. Average rank of beast husbands. Belle, surrounded by 5 beast husbands, raised an eyebrow. Unsurprisingly, the number of beast husbands is determined by the system's evaluation of a female's overall ability. Most females get 4. These 3 for Jagger are just the bare minimum. Mentioning it would invite ridicule. As for the beast husband rank, it's likely due to her noble status. A glint of amusement flashed in Belle's eyes. But then the screen flickered. The number of beast husbands changed from 3 to 5, while their rank dropped to F. The system matched Jagger with 5 beast husbands, but they were the lowest ranked males. The entire room was stunned. The onlookers ranged from sympathetic to outright gleeful. After all, F-rank beastmen are the lowest of the low. For a noble, it would be a lifelong humiliation. If she were a commoner, she wouldn't even qualify to enter the upper district. Jagger, however, didn't seem to care. Her top priority right now was survival. Low-ranked beast husbands didn't matter. She could always find better ones later. But as she glanced casually at the list, she froze, because among the names of the 5 beast husbands, she spotted a familiar one, Yuan. How did he end up as her beast husband? And an F rank at that? Everyone from the underground city is unregistered. Yet he was openly assigned to her. Lost in thought, my hand was suddenly grasped. Looking up, I saw Belle's face full of concern. Big sister, don't be sad. I know you prefer Rinley and the others. Jagger pulled her hand away. Who said I'm sad? What I value most in a beast husband is loyalty. Trash that betrays their master like that isn't even worth an F-rank beastman. The moment those words were spoken, Rinley and the others' expressions all changed. What do you mean by that? Jagger ignored them, leaning closer to Belle, whispering in her ear, if they'd betray me for you today, who's to say they won't betray you for someone else tomorrow? Belle jerked her head up, only to see Jagger's curved brows and eyes, though her smile didn't reach them. Those 5 beast husbands had dragged her into the dungeon the first day, then married Belle the very next. There was no way it wasn't planned. Well, she was already the villainess anyway. Was it really so wrong to stir the pot a little? With that, Jagger walked off with light steps. Not a trace of sorrow or gloom to be seen. But she didn't head straight home. Instead, she had her butler, Enno, go back first, telling him to throw out all 5 of their belongings. Add the cleaning fee to the bill, too. She herself headed to the location Yuan had just sent her. While waiting at a red light, she glanced up and saw a massive digital screen across the street, displaying a gentle, handsome face. 2 young females nearby couldn't help but gasp. Julian is so dreamy. Too bad his rank is low. Anywhere is fine. 10 years into debut, still hasn't had an on-screen kiss. Rumored to be saving it for his first love. Heard he entered the industry just so his first love could see him. Damn, how can a guy be this pure-hearted? Just as they were talking, a hovercraft zoomed past them arrogantly, scaring the 2 women into screaming. Who's so damn rude? The other woman sneered. That's Morian, ranked the Empire's most useless prince. A bastard child the Emperor left outside. Rumor says he lived in the lower districts, after being brought back a few years ago. He's been fooling around all day. The light turned green. Jagger was about to cross the street, when that same hovercraft came barreling back recklessly. The window rolled down in front of her, revealing a cold, strikingly handsome face. Arrogant, gray-blue eyes scanned Jagger up and down, his tone dripping with disdain. So you're my female master, Jagger. He clicked his tongue, clearly displeased. Get in, I have something to say. Jagger wasn't having it. I'm busy right now. Take a number. Morian's voice hardened. Get in, don't make me repeat myself. Jagger raised a brow, her tone even nastier than his. I'm your female master. Show some respect. Don't make me say it twice, or I'll whip you. Morian stormed out of the hovercraft, reaching to grab Jagger, was beaten to it by a young man, and pulled someone into his embrace. This is no way to treat a female. Females are precious and need to be cherished. Morian scoffed coldly. Who the hell do you think you are, daring to tell me what to do? I'm her beast husband. This is between us. Julian felt the warmth and softness in his arms, and curled his lips in satisfaction. When he looked at Morian, his eyes faintly gleamed with provocation. What a coincidence, I'm also Ari's beast husband. His demeanor was gentle, known in their circle for his good temper. But the moment Morian saw him, he could tell he wasn't someone to be trifled with. I don't give a damn who you are. I was here first. She's coming with me. According to interstellar marriage law, beast husbands can't go against the female's will. Julian adjusted the girl in his arms. Ari, you choose who to go with. Jagger froze slightly, about to speak, when a cold voice cut in. How much longer are you going to pester her? Yuan approached with a dark expression. Seeing this, Jagger turned and introduced to the two. This is also my beast husband. Technically, your big brother. Morian completely ignored it, covering his nose in disgust. And who the hell is this? Reeks of ancestral snake, and thinks he's our big brother. Yuan's expression, which had just softened, instantly turned sinister again. You wanna die? Morian raised an eyebrow unimpressed. Come at me then. Let's see who dies. Jagger quickly raised a hand to interrupt. Alright, stop arguing. This won't kill anyone. Besides, you're both F-rank rookies. What's even the point of fighting? Hearing this, the two immediately wore constipated expressions, but at least they quieted down. Jagger told Yuan to wait over there first. She'd be right there. Then she told Morian to return to the aircraft. She'd go find him after talking to Julian. Seeing Morian about to throw a tantrum again, she calmly said, I hope you haven't forgotten. Right now, I'm your female master. Morian flared up at the words female master, but meeting the female's clear gaze, it was like being burned. He hastily looked away, only able to agree irritably. After dealing with the two troublemakers, Jagger asked Julian if they should talk here or find another place. Julian, hearing her natural tone, looked surprised for a moment. Have you forgiven me? Only then did Jagger remember. The Zhang family and the Bailey family were old friends. She and Julian were childhood sweethearts, but in her memories, the original owner had demanded Julian give his role to Rinley. After being refused, she'd hurled vicious insults, ignoring him for a full year. Now, Julian had become her beast husband. The handsome young man took the girl's hand, his narrow eyes slightly narrowing. Don't be angry anymore, Ari, I'll never make you unhappy again. Can't we go back to how we were before? Jagger only had the original host's memories from the past 3 years in her mind. And Julian, as her childhood sweetheart, must know the original host very well. What if her identity as a transmigrator was discovered? Thinking of this, she subtly observed the other person. She couldn't help but feel Julian's gaze was complicated. His eyes were even slightly red, as if he was about to cry. Was their bond really this deep? Jagger felt a twinge of regret, wondering if it was too late to file for divorce now. Too late. Marriage laws stipulate a mandatory 3-year cooling-off period after marriage. She sighed helplessly. Then, mimicking the original host's tone, she said coldly, Did you come just to say this? Of course not. Julian took out a small gift box and handed it to her. Inside was a spatial ring, prepared last year, originally meant for you. Spatial rings were incredibly rare. Jagger, feeling indebted after accepting the gift, smiled politely and thanked him. Before she could finish, she was suddenly pulled into his embrace. A low, trembling voice whispered by her ear, Ari, I thought I'd never see you again. Hearing his shaky voice, Jagger couldn't help but reflect. Childhood sweethearts really do share deep bonds. Looks like she'd have to keep her distance from him in the future. To avoid getting exposed, she wriggled out of his arms. Morian is looking for me. I'll go ahead. With that, she hurried toward the aircraft. Julian watched her retreating figure. The redness at the outer corners of the eyes is more pronounced. Muttering to himself, finally back. Over there, Jagger just got into the aircraft. A cold, mocking laugh suddenly came from the side. So slow to deal with his rude person. A prince who also had no connection with the original owner. She has zero patience. None of your business. Spit it out if you have something to say. Spit it out. Morian was pissed off after being yelled at. Just now, you were all lovey-dovey and cuddling with that sly fox. When it comes to him, this is the attitude he has. I'm not interested in you. I don't want Tajit married either. The 3-year cooling off period is over. Let's go get a divorce. During this time, you're no allowed to touch me. Don't force me to tag either. As long as you can do it. Ask for whatever conditions you want. He had already braced himself for a scolding from Jagger when he said this. Then I turned around and saw the girl's sparkling eyes. As if saying, there's such a good thing. Jagger calmly thought it over. Putting on a reluctant to consider attitude. What do you have? What do you want? What do I have? Jagger leans back tactically. Then give me 50 first. Show me what you've got. Morian let out a sigh. Pick up the terminal. A few seconds later, Jagger received a notification of a 50 million deposit. This is the deposit. From now on, I'll transfer you 50 million every month. After the divorce, all that's left is a house. All the property under me name goes to you. Morian said. Clicked on the terminal. The semi-transparent electronixerin stretches from top to bottom. The list is densely packed with his property inventory. Jagger's eyes lit up with excitement. After counting, he put on a serious face. Since you seem sincere enough. I agreed. But I have a question. You only said I can't touch you without your permission. But if you try Tajit Hansi with me. How ridiculous, Morian thought. But I still gritted me teeth and asked her. Then what do you suggest we do? Write a contract. Jagger said, if you do anything to hurt me. I can deal with you however I please. The royal family and the Shen family cannot interfere. Morian's father's scene is S rank. The snow leopard beastmanant served as a general. After marrying the emperor, they were still quite loving. But later, he died protecting the emperor from an assassination attempt. Therefore, after Morian was found, the Shen family and the emperor compensated him. Keep providing resources. I hope he can evolve into a high-ranking ORC. Unfortunately, he only detected nth-grade lightning-based superpower. But the Shen family still values him greatly. The system is currently offline. Jagger must ensure his own safety. Morian was furious. In the end, I had to compromise. After signing the contract, he snorted disdainfully. Take and eat at the same time. I've never seen a female like you before. Jagger got the advantage and didn't bother arguing with him. Such a bad person. You're the queen. You got lucky. Looking at her smug expression, just like a little fox who got its way. Morian was slightly dazed. Realizing it, she abruptly turned her face away. He snorted heavily. Done. Over here. Jagger is planning to go find Yuan. Not long after leaving the aircraft, suddenly, there was a loud alarm sound. Dozens of Imperial military drones. They surrounded the area where she was located. The drone emitted an electronic mechanic voice. Attention, please. The Central District is out of control. The ORC is verifying his identity. Not far away, a giant crimson-red bird, trapped in a huge iron cage. It seems to be in a manic state. Keep flapping the wings. The flames on the tail feathers swirl with the wind. The sharp screeching forced the escort team to retreat continuously. The ORC not far away gasped in shock. Vermilion bird. This requires Anne's rank female to control. I said, can't you guys in the army hurry up? Don't burn down the neighborhood. We'll take photos later. The residents of Central Citier either wealthy or noble. The guard's natural didn't dare to slack off. He quickly said, everyone, please calm down. We've already found an S-rank female. Expected to arrive within 3 minutes. Just as we were saying, dozens of people crowded around a girl in a white dress as she arrived. Jagger took one look. Oh, ho, it's an acquaintance. Belle is watching too. She raised her chin slightly, drawing a defiant smile. He immediately walked up to Suzaku, reach out toward its head. Yet at the moment before contact, Jukyu suddenly erupted in even more frenzied screams. Soundwave. Belle and the entire guard team were sent flying to the ground in an instant. The cage was also pried open. It howled at the sky. The wind from the flappings carried flames. Instantly, the green belts on both sides of the road burst into flames. The crowd panicked and scattered in all directions. The street that was bustling just a moment ago. Now, it's like living hell on earth. Jagger was pushed by someone. Fell to the ground. Instantly locked on by Suzaku. In just the blink of an eye. Rushed right up to her. Jagger's palm stung with pain. Looking at the colossal figure towering several times above me, I could only close my eyes and instinctively raise my hands to protect my head. At the same time, he cursed the system in his heart for being useless. Not even a cheat code was left behind. However, the expected pain did not come. The palm of my hand felt a fuzzy touch. She mustered up the courage to open her eyes. Completely stunned. Who would have thought? The pig herd that was dominating the battlefield just a second ago. The next second, he turned into a whiny baby in front of the girl. Batting his big, doll-keys, she acted cute. The crowd around them saw this scene. The diaper is already soaked with pee. The captain off guard saw this. Whispered, Miss Jagger. Please help comfort him. Jagger feels a bit awkward. How to comfort him? I still don't know how to use psychic energy yet. Suddenly, Suzaku turned around and shielded it under its wings. The morning guard let out a sharp, piercing cry. The wind and waves stirred by the sound. The fallen leaves on the road were blown straight into the guards' faces. The guard captain wiped his face. Kohaha said, Then you stall for a bit. We're adjusting the new cage over here. Jagger nodded. He patted Suzaku's head. Jukyu made a faint sound in his throat. The whole body radiates joy. A few minutes later, the new cage has arrived. Jagger saw it. Ask what it will do after entering the cage. How about it, Captain off the guard? Answer me. Out of control S-class beastman. He will be held in custody for a period of time. Wait until his mental power value returns to normal. Just send it back to the Vermilion Bird clan's territory. After knowing they would harm this Vermilion Bird, Jagger felt slightly relieved. So I tried to communicate with it. They won't hurt you. Just gotta do time in the slammer. No, I mean I need to take a break for a while. Jukyu stared at her for a few seconds after hearing this. Only then did it spread its wings. Holding her, he took a few steps toward the cage. Probably means Jagger should come along. Jagger hurriedly crawled out of the birdfish. I still have things to do. Can't go with you. The aura around Suzaku instantly grew oppressive. Seeing this, the guard captain quickly went to find. But, you can look for Miss Jagger when you're out. Right, Miss Jagger? Jagger India nodded in agreement. Jukyu won't stop until he gets his way. The bird gently nuzzled against the tip of her ear. Then take a few steps back. The wings fluttered slightly. Jagger felt like Hugh is seeing things. She actually saw shyness on a bird's face. Fortunately, the end, Suzaku finally left under her watchful gaze. He entered the cage with great reluctance, turning back every few steps. After loading it into the aircraft, The guard captain turned his head. Just then, Juk had transformed into a slender figure. The young man with a handsome and delicate face. He wrapped his body with the black silk cloth beside the cage, raised his chin at him. How do you contact family here? The guard captain saw that his expression was clear and composed. Gave him a communicator. The young man dialed a number. As soon as the call connected, he started speaking. Secretary, he. Help me look someone up. She is an especially gentle and kind-hearted woman. She cured me of my out-of-control behavior. All in all, I want to go with Miss Jagger. Even if it's just a small role. Wait for him to finish the call. The guard captain could tell this young man was no ordinary fellow. Since you're awake now, why didn't you transfer into human form just now? Seeing the young man awkwardly turn his face away. I'll scare her if I'm naked. After Suzaku was sent away, medical staff set up tents on the spot. Treat the injured female. Jagger casually did a mental energy check on the side. The gentle femmelector held her hand. Congratulations, Miss Jagger. You awakened your psychic powers during your secondary differentiation. But because it's not very stable, the level still can't be detected. It is recommended that you perform a system check again after 3 days. But being able to tame such a male like that, your mental power level won't be low. Perhaps soon the entire galaxy will know of your bravery. Jagger sensed her kindness. After saying thanks, he walked out of the tent. Just turned the corner. Just then, heard a familiar voice behind me call out, "Hey." She was looking down at the message Ewan had sent. I had a bit of a headache, so I didn't bother responding. Unexpectedly, someone behind forcefully grabbed my arm. "Rowan has a surface. I'm calling you. Why aren't you responding?" Jagger withdrew his hand with an indifferent expression. "What's up?" Rowan was furious and about to lose his temper. But the other person's indifference coded the words in my throat. In the end, all he could do was grit his teeth. He took out a tube of ointment and tossed it to her. "I didn't mean to push you just now. This is your compensation." Before I could finish speaking, Jagger slapped him hard across the face. Rowan was completely dumbfounded by the sudden situation. A few seconds later, he covered his face. An incredulous, sharp voice questioned, "You hit me?" Jagger sneered, "So if I hit you?" As she spoke, she steps forward and raised her hand again. With all his might, he slapped him again. Rowan's dark red eyes instantly blazed with fury. "Jagger, are you out of your mind? I'm concerned about your injury. How could you be so ungrateful?" Jagger spoke calmly. "I got hurt. Wasn't it because you pushed me? You came to find me. It's just about trying to win people over with small favors. Ease your guilt." These words felt like a sharp needle suddenly piercing Rowan's heart. He wanted to argue back, but couldn't. He always thought Jagger was just a simp. Give her the medicine and she'll be over the moon, forgetting all about her scars. But he never expected Jar to turn on him. Rowan suddenly became a bit impatient. "I didn't know that was you." Jagger didn't say a word. Seeing the red light behind me on the road turn on, she raised her hand and gave Rowan a push. The other party was caught off guard. The body fell backward, passed by a flying vehicle that had just taken off, hit the arm, fell to the ground. Rowan's gaze lingered on Jagger's ankle for a few seconds before suddenly looked up and stared at her, gnashing teeth. "Jagger, are you trying to kill me?" "Sorry. I didn't mean to." Jagger showed a somewhat guilty expression. "Throw the ointment into Rowan's arms. This ointment is your compensation." The same words. Role reversal. Rowan's face instant darkened beyond recognition. Jagger's crimson lips curled slightly. Turn around and walk away. Rowan looked at the wound on his palm. What comes to mind? Yet it was the bite marks and ickies on Jagger's snow-white ankles. It suddenly dawned on him. So Jagger treated him like that. "It's because I've found a new goal. By all accounts, this'll be a good thing. But now, for no reason, he was overwhelmed with endless irritation. On the other hand, Jagger followed the map and arrived at a club. This is from Thejiang family to her. Just opened the door to the top floor private room. Suddenly, my vision blurred. By the time I committed my senses again, she was already pinned down on the wool carpet. Yuan gasped heavily. The serpent's tail coiled around her waist and legs. He slid his hand under her clothes from the hem. His chin moved close to her neck, but then stopped. His face instantly darkened with a terrifying intensity. Jagger instantly became alert. What's wrong? You don't seem quite right. Yuan gave her a cold glance. The voice is chilling. Have you forgotten still in heat? After reaching adulthood, ORCs enter their mating season. A male without a female master can only suffer alone. It's still bearable. But once marked, only thief male owner can alleviate it. Jagger really forgot about this. She guiltily averted her gaze and stubbornly insisted. Remember. Yuan's voice, however, was icy cold. Remember. So you came to me reeking off fox stink and bird stink. Jagger recalled last night. Still feeling serene achy all over. Didn't you say you wanted to remove the tags? Is there any way? Seeing the reluctance over her face, Yuan couldn't help but smirk coldly. Last night, I grabbed him by the hair and forced him to serve me. After you're done feeling good, you just lie down and start snoring away. If it weren't for the fact that I just couldn't bring myself to do it. He really wants to skin someone alive. But as soon as they get close to Jagger, Yuan wished every inch off his skin could stick to her. Possess every breath of hers. This despicable look. He didn't even want to admit it himself, but couldn't resist. Yuan tightly wrapped his arms around Jagger. The panting Karita clear plea. Give me a mental healing. Jagger was somewhat surprised by how quickly they obtained the information, but still answered honestly. I haven't learned this skill yet. Yuan looks exceptionally weak. I'll teach you. Unexpectedly, Jagger pushed his head away a bit. I can help you. But before that, I want to ask you. My beast husbands went from 3 to 5. Did you pull some strings? Yuan has been tormented to the point of nearly losing control. Yet she remained utterly clear-headed, intent on exploiting his weaknesses. Squeeze out the information they want. He just wanted to kill that bitch in one bite. But the moment he opened his mouth, an involuntary groan escaped first. He used the last bit of his sobriety to negotiate with her. Do it first. Seeing him soften his stance, Jagger finalized it in agreement. Yuan pressed his forehead against hers, rapidly dictating on the go. He pulled her into his own mental realm. When Jagger opened his eyes again, already standing in a forest shrouded in dark mist, blood runs low. The charred and broken withered tree twisted grotesquely under the crimson light. Occasionally, the hoarse caw of a crow could be heard. It sends shivers down your spine. Something seems to be wriggling closer. Jagger looked down. Almost scared the piss out of me. Dozens of scales glistened. The pitch black of bloodshed. The venomous snake stopped less than a meter away. Blood-red verticalpals locked onto her. Sissy flickered her crimson forked tongue. Jagger wants to escape. But when I remembered that the snake was Yuan's spiritual beast, it shouldn't hurt her. He crouched down with a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Reached out toward one of the snakes. Unexpectedly, the black snakesoul retreated at the sight of this. This scene made Jagger feel a bit like laughing. Yuan is so arrogant and cocky outside. His spiritual entity is actually so cautious and timid. Somehow, it's kinda cute. Jagger recalled his past experiences of petting cats. Beckoned to little snake. He kept making fake sobbing sounds. The black snake tilted its head and stared for a few seconds. Slowly crawled to her side. The little head nuzzled against their palm and rubbed gently. The other snakes around saw this and followed suit, but was given a warning glare by Black Snake. Jagger didn't notice this scene. but to touch the snake's body. Calm its emotions according to Yuan's method. After a while, she noticed all the snakes around her had disappeared. The cracked earth beneath me feet began to slowly mend. The black mist lingering in the air dissipated a bit. Visibility has greatly improved. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through her mind. He passed out on the spot. When I opened my eyes again, it was already the next morning. The sensation of something coiling in my waist is hard to ignore. Jagger looked down. Sure enough, the snake's tail could be seen slowly moving. The same scene as yesterday. Mo Ming has already gotten used to it. Yuan, holding her, sensed movement. Stick closer. Jagger woke up and couldn't help but scoot aside. Yuan is like a persistent pest. She hid. She couldn't escape even if she had wings. Jagger was getting a bit impatient. Gave the snake's tail a pat and let go. It's weighing me down. Yuan obediently let go of the snake's tail. Changed to sticking close to her leg. Jagger sat up. She went to the dressing room and changed into a blue dress. By the way, I ordered breakfast. After a while, a chubby little robot delivered the meal upstairs. Jagger is starving. Just about to walk past. He went to grab the wrist but Yuan held it instead. Don't touch it. There's something wrong with it. The black mist instantly enveloped the robot. When letting go, the robot has already fallen apart. The food was also spilled all over the floor. He picked it out from a pile of debris. Cut out a finger-sized round object. Show it to Jagger. It's a military monitor. And the orientation is yours. Jagger shivered upon hearing that. A dense layer of cold sweat broke out on his back. She wasn't in the mood to order breakfast anymore. I could only dig out some snacks from the cupboard to eat. By the way, I asked about last night's issue. Why did you change me beast husband match? And aren't all dungeons full of undocumented people? You're really F-tier. Yuan pulled the person into his embrace. Holding her by the waist, he answered her one by one. From his mouth, Jagger found out that Yuan had his own legal identity. The level was just randomly filled in without ever being tested. And when he logged into the system to make changes, there are already 4 names in the system. Jagger bit his lip in frustration. Because of the Khmer incident just now, she's always worried about being assassinated by an undercover agent. So I proposed making a deal with Yuan. You keep me safe. I'll help you with spiritual healing. How to get a positive response after that? She extended her pinky finger again for a pinky promise. Yuan noticed that she didn't seem to understand the rules of the world. Obviously, all you had to do was give the order. No need to make a trade. Actually made a pinky promise. So childish, but fastened the girl's beaming eyes. Yuan was momentarily speechless. The dungeon lord, notorious for his cruelty and brutality. Just like that, we made a kildish pinky promise with the girl. Not long after, Jagger returned alone to his villa. Just arrived at the door. Just then, Morian was fuming with anger. And Eno stood in his way. With a serious expression, Jagger had no choice. After going over to ask, I found out. Morian wants to install weapons in the room for self-defense. And Eno thinks this place is safe enough that it's unnecessary. Put it in the storage room. Jagger thought about it. You should have some space. Just put the ring in the space. Morian clicked his tongue in irritation. Put the weapons away. The matter is resolved. Jagger entered the villa. As soon as I entered, I saw Julian coming down the stairs. When she came back, immediately she stepped forward with a beaming smile and took her hand. You're back. Did you sleep well last night? Jagger pulls his hand away. The reply came across as a bit stiff. I'm going to the room first. Eno, come help tidy up. She was afraid she might give herself away. So when leaving, their footsteps were swift. And Julian lowered his ease in disappointment, looking at my own hands. He sighed. I'm very wary of him. Morian walked in the door. Seeing this scene, he scoffed disdainfully. He really can't stand this Julian guy. I just moved in last night. This person brought over a dozen boxes of clothes, perfume, and skincare products. People who don't know better will think you're going to a fashion show. After taking a shower at night, wearing that bathrobe again, sitting in the living room, flipping through a fashion magazine over and over. Clearly, the drinker shirt is not in the cup. The beast husband's in the palace waiting to serve the bedchamber. No one puts on an act like he does. This morning was even more infuriating. Not only did he nothulp him convince Eno, and with a smile, she casually said, "I'm married now, everything must be the mistress." He was speechless on the spot. What era is this even? Why are there still people playing the role of the virtuous homemaker? The only beast husband I've met is already this much of a mess. I wonder what the other beast husbands are like. Damn, what a mess on the other side. Jagger walked in. I asked Eno about it. What did those two beastly men do after they moved in last night? Eno reported the situation in full detail, and asked when her other 3 beast husbands would come. Arrange rooms for them in advance. Jagger remembered his way back. They just added the 5 beast husbands to a group chat. So I took out Mittermeinl to ask about it. It turns out Thavi Eldrietti started chatting. From the chat content, it is learned that Ayan is conducting an inspection in District 9. Expected to come back next month. Jagger remembers. He seems to be the son of the president of the Royal National Academy. The 20-year-old beast form is a white cat. Very high IQ. But his body has always been weak and sickly. The original host had previously pursued his younger brother Ayan. But it didn't work out. And Gunnian was still in the car. It should take a few more days to arrive. Jagger hasn't heard off Gunnian before. The records show he's a rabbit beastman. Just turned 18 a few days ago. Awaken the power of wind. Born and raised in City 12. And the 12th city is the lower district. It's also a famous slum. Suddenly, Jagger's terminal beeped. She clicked to find it was a message from Gunnian. The boy called her sis. Tell her, brought her specialties from all 12 cities. Then he sent a picture over. On top is a boy with delicate and handsome features. A selfie holding Akarat next to the cheek. Jagger saw it. I just think the system has pretty good taste. Not a single beast husband assigned was ugly. And in the dimly lit train carriage at this moment, Gu Nyan stared at the faintly glowing screen. A trace of disappointment falls in his eyes. He carefully typed out his words. Sis. Why aren't you saying anything? Am I that ugly? Just sent the message. The train car's door was banged so hard it shook the heavens. Dozens of ORCs roared in unison. Found it. It's here. Hand it over. In the next second, the young man's figure appeared outside the train carriage. They turned their heads to look. Instantly gasped in shock. He has spatial abilities. Realized the intel was wrong. They hurriedly raised their guns and rushed forward. However, it didn't take more than 10 seconds. The carriage returned to silence. Gu Nyan raised the bayonet, stabbing the people on the ground one by one to finish them off. Scarlet liquid splattered. He seemed to be used to it. Expression calm. The terminal vibrated slightly. He saw the message Jagger sent. After praising him for being good-looking, couldn't help but smile. A happy smiley appeared on their face. He really wants to see his sister soon. After replying to Gunnian, Jagger took out the camera that had been in his pocket all along. Who is watching her? They're still using military-grade stuff. She tried to find clues from the broken memories of the original owner. But every time she tries to recall, it was something that happened more than 3 years ago. My head throbbed with a sharp, stabbing pain. She once again brought out the original host's brilliance, wanting to look for some traces. But it's a real shame. There's nothing useful inside at all. Until she clicked into the blacklist. See what's inside. There are actually a few teachers from the Royal Imperial Academy. Jagger suddenly felt a headache coming on. The original protagonist is currently a junior at the Royal Imperial College this year. But last month I followed Wedrenly to film a movie. It's been a month since Say last went to school. The counselor sent her a message. Absent from class for a whole month without reason. This semester's GPA will be completely invalidated. She checked the date. If you don't go now, you'll get fired. So I sent a message back to them. I'll report in tomorrow. I looked through Soma materials for a while. Jagger is feeling a bit drowsy. He fell asleep on the bed in no time. In a daze. Feels like there's a hand gently stroking her hair and cheeks. Wants to open my eyes. But fell into an even deeper dream. Under the lush green apple tree. The young man with an indistinct face. There was a head off beautiful white hair. Slender finger shook under her chin. Tilted his head and kissed her lips. A few seconds later, they separated. The young man chuckled softly by her ear. Our little Lee is actually capable of being shy. I'm truly flattered. Jagger opened his eyes. With a blank expression, her fingers lightly touched her own lips. Is this the original host's memory in the dream? But why does it feel so real? Early the next morning, Jagger arrived at the Imperial Royal Academy. Just found a seat and sat down. There's suddenly a woman by my side. With a fawning expression, he leaned in close to her. I heard you returned those beastly men to Bell. She recognized this as the original owner's top lackey at the academy. Du Dan nodded faintly. This girl hates Bell. They just used the original owner as a pawn. Always whispering in her ear. It's said that those fiverks have a thing for her, damn. The original owner shamelessly licked their boots without any principles. Jagger didn't want to stay by his side anymore. But she's really good at gossiping. Keeping you around for intel isn't a bad idea for now. A few rows behind them, Rowan looked at Jagger. The image of her slapping Herselfi sturdy immediately popped into my mind. And the kiss marks on her slender, fair ankles. His brows furrowed window volity. See you after class. Jagger went straight out the door. Rowan followed as if possessed by some supernatural force. The girl walked straight into the depths of the building without stopping. When passing by a classroom, suddenly, a hand reached out from inside and yanked me in. Through the glass, Rowan saw it clearly. A male ORC bent down and hugged Jagger, burying his face in the crook of her neck. The actions were extremely intimate. Ewan stared at Jagger, disdainfully spitting out two words. So slow. Jagger was feeling a bit overwhelmed at the moment. She didn't expect this guy to have such a big nerve. You actually cameo the way here. If his identity as the dungeon master were to be discovered, you'll be executed on the spot. If things go wrong, even this female master might get dragged down. Jagger grew more fearful the more he thought about it. Raised his hand and pressed the button by the window. The transparent and clear glass instantly turned into one-way glass. It's hard to see what's going on inside from the outside. Ewan looked up and saw outside the window. A red-haired boy walked past from the side, frowning, staring intently at the room. A face full of displeasure and irritation. Rowan walked around the classroom once, suddenly realizing my own behavior was way too bizarre. After cursing under his breath a few times, he hurriedly left. And further beyond, the unruly white-haired young man also turned and walked away. Ewan saw what was happening. Thin lips curled into a cold smirk. Then he pressed his forehead against Jagger's neck. The snake's tongue slithered along the sharp edge of her collarbone. Do it for me. Jagger is a bit unhappy. After the last spiritual healing session I did for you, I was dizzy all night. This break time is only 15 minutes. I know Ewan was smelling her hair. His golden eye instinctively narrowed. Not sure if it's tag. Affected by the mating season. Just getting close to this woman. His mind went completely blank. Only thinking about possession and devouring. But compared to his fanatical and decadent mood, Jagger is much more clear-headed. She glanced at the situation outside and the time. Hurry him up. Yuan dawdled for a bit longer before finally getting up. Take out some methane and hand it to her. This is for detecting hidden cameras. Jagger didn't expect that. They will keep your meters in mind. Suddenly felt a bit surprised. Wow, thank you. She just installed the chip. From a distance, a black-haired boy walked over. Quickly reminded Yuan to hide well. He quickly walked out on his own. The black-haired boy, wearing a golden badge, closed the door. Just in time to walk into the student council for inspection. This is a restricted area. What are you doing here? The young man saw her face clearly. Instantly frowned in disgust. Jagger thought for a few seconds before remembering. Cheat. The young man before her was one of her beast husbands. Ayan's twin brother. The original host had also pursued her passionately. But the one who got brutally rejected. Ayan was extremely impatient. What are you sneaking around here for? Jagger put on a slightly bewildered expression. It's been a long time since I last came to the academy. Wrong classroom. Your next class is shooting. Can't even tell the difference between a gymnasium and a lecture hall. At this level, you shouldn't even come to the academy. Go take a shower early and clear your head. Jagger sighed upon hearing this. Classmate Yuan, we had some misunderstandings before. But now I'm your sister-in-law. No need to be so hostile toward me. She remembered that the twin brothers from the Yuan family had a very good relationship. Sure enough, Ayan's sharp and bitter words were on the tip of her tongue, but was forcefully swallowed back down. Gritting his teeth and suppressing his disgust, he said, "Class is about to start. You go to the gym." As he spoke, he was about to continue walking inside. Jagger was afraid he would find out about Yuan. He grabbed his wrist in one swift motion. "I forgot the way. Take me there, okay?" Feeling the warmth, Ayan's entire body instantly stiffened. A few seconds later, he abruptly pulled his hand back, turned around and left without a second thought. At the same time, he grumbled impatiently, "What are you standing there like an idiot for? Hurry up, it won't be long." Ayan took the person downstairs. With a grim expression, he said, "We're here. I'm leaving." Jagger waved goodbye cheerfully and thanked him. Turned around and went into the building. Ayan stood still in place, frowning. This woman actually had the nerve to thank someone. You really think you're the boss's wife, huh? Wait for Ayan to come back. He must make them get divorced as soon as possible. After he left, Morian, leaning against the wall, watched his retreating figure with a look of disdain. Jagger was just with this person in the classroom, doing shady things. It's just a regular shooting class, usually pairing up in twos. Rowan felt a bit irritable as soon as entered the classroom with his friends. Every time during shooting class before, Jagger would always forcibly drag him into the same team. How could he refuse? Just as I was thinking about it, Jagger had already walked into the classroom. After looking Garant for a while, the gaze suddenly occurred onto the side. With a smile, found happiness, Rowan quickly spoke up to refuse. Unexpectedly, just 2 syllables came out. Yet Jagger simply walked right past him. Walked towards the back. He suddenly turned his head to look. Jagger grabbed hold of Morian's collar in one swift motion. "Prince, you are now under my control. Being the female lead's partner is your duty." Morian didn't take the bait. Chin gestured toward Rowan. "Where's your partner?" Jagger blinked his eyes to show Weeks that was his former partner. "No one is with me now. Only you." Senior Kin was being called at that for the first time. Morian froze for a few seconds. In this gap, he was grabbed by Jagger and dragged towards the locker room. Rowan's buddy next to him scoffed. "These two are repeaters. A freeloader who only no-show to ride on others' coattails." Nail at the bottom. He let out a few laughs and realized Rowan had gone silent. Turned around and looked. He saw the other party staring at Thetwo of them with a gloomy expression. The direction of departure. Not long after, The two then changed into their training uniforms and headed to the training ground. Attracted a lot of attention. The marital status of ordinary people. It may not be easily known to others. But Morian, as a member of the royal family, he just matched with Jagger. The whole galaxic knows about it now. The useless prince and the useless female are a perfect match. I heard that Morian's lineage might be questionable. His father was an abandoned beast adopted by the Shen family in the 12th city. Turns out to be a despicable bastard. No wonder His Majesty the Emperor isn't concerned about his marriage. They paired him up with a loser like Jagger. Their voices were deliberately lowered. Morian heard every single word clearly. The 5 fingers clench into a fist. His gray-blue eyes brimmed with intense disgust and irritation. He was about to charge forward. Suddenly, a pitch-black gun barrel came into view, aimed at those two. "What are you talking about? Tell me about it." Seeing this, the other party instantly let out a short scream, but quickly calmed down upon seeing who it was. He's Rinley's younger brother. Back then, Jagger couldn't suck up to him fast enough. What's there to be afraid of? So he moved closer with a cheeky grin. "Oh, damn, Jagger. Why are you getting angry? I was just joking." Jagger curled his lips. "Don't even joke about it. You're not worthy." Sean's face suddenly changed. "What do you mean? It's not like I said much about you. Go ahead and shoot if you dare. Dare to open it, I'll call my brother right away." Before the words were finished, a loud explosion rang out. The bullet grazed past his face, left a scratch. Sean didn't expect Jagger to actually shoot at him. He froze in place. "Let the warm blood flow down my face." Jagger just smiled. "Sorry, it was an honest mistake." Sean was so angry that his whole body was trembling. Jagger really has the guts. "Do you believe I'll tell my brother or not? Let him teach you a lesson." Jagger doesn't care. "Go ahead and tell your brother," with a smile. "The man-child just better not gossip next time." "It's not that simple." After saying that, she grabbed Morian and left. Sean was left covering his face in helpless rage. "I'll tell my brother right now. You're done for." After saying that, he took out his terminal and dialed Rinley's number. At the same time, he roared at the onlookers around him. "What are you looking at?" But there were still classmates whispering among themselves in the corner. If it weren't for Jagger liking Rinley, who does he think hides to act so arrogantly? Really knows how to use someone else's power to intimidate. Speaking of which, Miss Jagger actually dared to fire a gun in public. Aren't you afraid of getting punished? She's afraid of getting punished. Besides, Evan Jam, that Siskin, is going back to City One soon. If he goes crazy. No kidding. On the other side, after being dragged a few steps, Morian finally snapped out of it. This is the first time a female has stood up for him. She's clearly a greedy, lustful, and cowardly evil bitch. Yet you went this far for him. His heart skipped a beat involuntarily. Morian couldn't help but slow down. Grabbed Jagger's wrist. At this moment, Jagger was feeling agitated inside. Logically speaking, she should have pretended not to hear it. But when those people were insulting the Zhang family just now, a surge of intense anger suddenly welled up in her chest. I wish I could twist Sean's head off and kick it like a ball. This emotion made her feel eerie. She pursed her lips and sighed again. This caught Morian's eye. Mistakenly thought, Jagger is heartbroken over that ex-fiancé named Rinley. He couldn't help but furrow his brows. Jagger really has terrible taste. That Sean guy isn't all that great. Where can Rinley possibly be any good? He suddenly wanted to say something. But as soon as I opened my mouth, Jagger suddenly came to a halt. Staring in shock at the person who suddenly appeared before them. A male with black hair and golden eyes. His gaze swept over the girl's held wrist. He snorted heavily. You've got some nerve playing around like this. Jagger instinctively pulled his hand back. Wide-eyed, staring at him. What are you doing here? A little sister then slipped up to her side. Lower your voice and remind them to hurry up and apologize. Jagger is the special guest professor for this course. Professor Yuan, you should show him some respect. He deducts points with regard to status. Jagger heard this, staring at Yuan in disbelief. This guy is actual lither professor. She hasn't recovered from the shock yet. The sound of the bell rang out. Cousin, you're here. Just as he covered his face and rushed up to them, pointing at Jagger and accusing him. I want to expose Jagger. Hit a classmate, should be punished, not fired. Jagger was even more bewildered this time. Where the hell hash run off to now? The little sister was also freaking out. Oh, no. Professor Yuan is Yurek's husband and Sean's cousin. Now, he's definitely going to punish you. Yuan glanced at Sean. Look at Jagger. What do you have to say? Jagger innocent lowered his eyes. Professor Yuan, it was just an honest mistake. Sean heard it and shoot back immediately. Fake. She's just bitter because my brother dumped her. Picked up some trash. F-tier male venting his anger on me here. As soon as the words were spoken, they met Yuan's icy gaze. He suddenly fell silent. Damn it. How could he forget about his cousin? Also an F-tier loser. He only became a specially appointed professor by relying on his family's connections. At this moment, the bell rang. Yuan's face was cold and indifferent. Class is starting. Two short words carried an intense, oppressive force. It's suffocating. As he passed by, Jagger. Hey, Then he looked away and didn't glance at her again. However, once in the practice area, Jagger received his message. Make her pay for her unintentional mistake. No need to say, it must be another mental healing session. Jagger had no choice. No choice but to start the course. She walked into the simulated combat environment device. Open your eyes again. It had already appeared in a corroded, dilapidated urban area. Semi-transparent text appears before my eyes. Welcome to the beginner's shooting course. 3 target mutated beasts. Score by time hit rate. Comprehensive assessment of self-inflicted health damage. Jagger knew the original owner was really bad at this stuff. The close combat and boxing classes from the past 2 years were all low level. The points drifted by. She was already prepared to at the bottom with Morian. However, when the giant mutated beast charging in their direction, she instinctively drew her gun and raised her hand. The bullet hit the mutated beast right between the eyes. Congratulations to Jagger for getting the first kill. Current ranking number 1. Remaining target 2. Jagger was stunned. Beside her, someone had just reached out to protect her. Morian narrowed his eyes. No time to think it through. 2 more mutated beasts frantically pounced from behind. Morian hugged her tightly, jumped to slightly higher ground. Let her try again. Jagger immediately aimed at one of the mutated beasts. As if practiced countless times, it was done with effortless ease. She effortlessly hit mutated beast. This time, the aim was as good. Only hit the wing. The 2 mutated beasts instantly locked onto their direction. Staggering and swaying, he charged over again. Morian held Jagger and dodged around. From time to time, he raised his hand and fires a shot. But as the mutant beasts continued their assault, they were gradually falling into a disadvantage. Jagger timidly suggested, maybe let's find a place to hide. She remembers that simulation training usually lasts half an hour. As long as you stick it out till the end, you can still pass. Morian ate something raw. Hold her hand. Aim the gun at the mutated beast. Pull the trigger hard. The bullet simultaneously hit heads of both mutated beasts. At the same time, all within the simulated environment. A line of big words appeared. Congratulations to Zhang Li. Morian achieved the fastest kill time record. Congratulations to student Jagger for achieving 2 goals with 1 action. The entire room erupted in an uproar. But more people think Jagger cheated. After class, Rowan teamed up with the few noble kids to block Ewan. Demand a thorough investigation of Jagger. She definitely cheated. Impossible to be first. She's done this kind of thing before, no doubt about it. Empire History from last semester. She's the one who got some O'Neills to take the exam for her. The sound is noisy and shrill. Some even wanted to catch Jagger. Her hand, however, hadn't yet touched it. Morian had already gently pulled the person away. Pull behind and roll. His eyes were filled with anger. Like a beast whose territory has been trespassed upon. Rowan stared at Theron Terwin hands. Even more irritated, he raised his voice. Is His Highness the Crown Prince also going to shield the cheater? Morian stepped forward and grabbed him by the collar. Say one more word and see what happens. His strength was astonishingly immense. Rowan was actually struggling to hold his ground. How is this possible? He's S tier. And Morian is just an F-grade loser. At a stalemate, Bell spoke up, Professor Ewan. My cousin is a first-time offender. Can you please note report this to the college? She can't afford to get another disciplinary action. Jagger almost rolled his eyes upon hearing that. This female lead is dead Seaton getting herself punished. She stepped forward, confidently and calmly stating that they didn't cheat. Rowan immediately said, What proof do you have that you didn't cheat? Then what evidence do you have to prove that I cheated? Amidst the noise and chaos, Ewan announced the verdict: she didn't cheat. But everyone refused to believe it. Professor Ewan, do you know Jagger? Just because someone is a professor doesn't mean they can be biased. Belle felt uneasy in her heart, just about to say something else. Then, a calm and unhurried voice came from behind. How is that not possible? 3 years ago, Jagger was admitted to the recommendation exam. Physical fitness category complete. Everyone turned their heads. A noble and refined young man walked into the room. The moment I saw him, the crowd erupted, softly muttering, Why is Julian here? Didn't he cut ties with Jagger? Why are you still speaking up for her? Speaking of which, Jagger is really full of himself. The last one to get straight A's was Evan Jong. The surrounding whispers were as clear as day to the ORC. Julian pretended not to hear. He walked up to Jagger and held her hand. Is Ari okay? Is she hurt? No problem. Jagger didn't expect him to come. Reason tells her to hide. But when facing Julian's concerned gaze, her chest welled up with a sour feeling. As if I've done it countless times before. She gently squeezed the other person's hand and gave it a slight turn, skilled at quietly grumbling that you're so slow. Julian froze in shock, hands trembling slightly. Although on the surface everything still appears calm and peaceful. But inside, a storm was already raging. If last time was just speculation, now Ari unconsciously relies on him. Just like the past 10+ years, the same old coquettish complaints. It made him absolutely certain. Jagger is back. It's not the soul that took over her body, but grew up with him instead. Jagger, who has shared countless wonderful moments with him. He tightly held her hand. Even if there are 1,000 words to say. In the end, all they said was, Don't worry. Seeing this, Morian inexplicably pissed off with me around. He frowned and snorted coldly, trying to act like he was in a soap opera. Go back to acting. Jagger snapped out of it, quickly pulled back his hand. And Julian also realized, she might not have memories of the past right now. So I decided to figure out the situation first. Don't reveal too much. The Tuve already recognized her. At this moment, Sean called out, Bro, to Thang Man standing by the door. You're finally here. Hurry up and stand up for me. Rinley walked over with a gloomy expression. What's up with Jagger? But the girl didn't even spare him a glance, but looked towards Suan beside him instead. Can Professor Ewan release my training footage? Morian quickly interrupted. Don't expose my stuff. Then just Reliaseeth first kill clip. Seeing Jagger so calm and composed. The other people in Thecla's room were a bit surprised. Could it really be no problem? Belle bit her lip. Feeling uneasy in my heart. No way. Jagger is just a vicious supporting female character used to make herself look better. How could there be a shining moment? But Jagger's resolute expression made her extremely uneasy. She looked at Rowan. Want to get some comfort. But the other side is staring intently at Jagger right now. Eyes filled with resentment. Soon Ewan pulled up the permissions. A semi-transparent large screen appears indoors. The footage completely captures the anti-represses of Jagger securing the first kill. Her posture is standard and relaxed, calm and composed. Now, everyone has Nakasi but to believe it. Belle was the first to react. That's great. Reg is innocent. I knew it. Don't hold past mistakes against someone. Just deny her present, huh? Jagger raised his hand to cut you off and told you to shut up. Then point at Sean and apologize to me. The other person widened their eyes and said, on what grounds? Then you're asking for punishment. I remember slandering class Matisse also against the rules, right? Immediately turned to Ewan with a smile. Professor Ewan. Should he be given disciplinary action? Rinley wants to protect their younger brother. But it's impossible to operate in public. If things escalate and it ends up in the news, his career will suffer a heavy blow. So he gritted his teeth and scolded. How utterly thoughtless. Seeing this, Sean apologized. He could only reluctantly say, sorry. However, Jagger did not accept it. The punishment he deserved still can't be avoided. Ewan led them to the academic affairs office. Jagger followed behind, walking briskly. There is video evidence to back it up. The rumor that she's useless will soon be debunked on its own. Everything's been taken care of. She took Ewan home. After explaining his identity to the other two. Facing a century-old dilemma, who to sleep with tonight. According to reason, newlyweds should be in the height of marital bliss. The female lead and her beast husband were deeply in love and enjoying their sweet time together. Every night, you should pick a bitch to keep you company. But at this moment, the Zhang family. But there wasn't the slightest hint of romantic pink bubbles. Jagger sat on the sofa. On the left is the expressionless Ewan. A pair of golden eyes stared intently at her. On the right is Julian, with the faint smile on his thin lips. Quietly held her hand without a sound. Morian sat redundantly opposite the three people. Can't even figure out such a simple problem. Hurry up and pick. Is still need to sleep. Julian was so considerate and generous that he let him go rest first. Anyway, it won't be his turn. Morian heard it. Instantly furious. All meanings point beast, husband? Why should he be left out? But he cares a load about saving face. Can't be bothered to compete with the common folk. In the end, he just snorted coldly. Walked away in anger. Julian sighed. His personality is like this. I'll talk to him properly. Our queen's academic workload is already very heavy. Don't let Anna Thingels disturb him. Warm breath brushed past the ear. Jagger instinctively waited to dodge. But then Ewan, who Wasnerby, grabbed her hand. Drag him straight upstairs. Julian immediately grabbed Jagger's other hand. Mr. Ewan, such matters have always been decided by the female master. Do not disrupt the Emperor's thousand-year-old rules. Ewan couldn't care less about Host's so-called bullshit rules. Wanna fight? Jagger saw the situation. Hastily shook off both of their hands. He sighed. I don't want to see Yugi's arguing because of me. We're all family. Why bother? So I decided to sleep alone tonight. After saying that, she dashed upstairs in a flash. He went into the bedroom and closed the door. Seeing that no one was following anymore, Jagger couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. First, I went to Takia bath in the bathroom. Who would have thought it turned out like this? Was pulled by an undeniable force, pulled onto the sofa. Looking up, I immediately met Ewan's golden slit eyes. The man's gaze was impossible to hide. Down along her exposed shoulders, Jagger frowned deeply. Pointing at the door. Let her out. Today, she's going to sleep alone. Yet Yuan was staring at her lips, just about to lower his head for a kiss. Suddenly, the door was knocked. Then Julian's voice came through. Jagger hurriedly got up, gave Yuan a warning glare. Behave yourself, then open the door a crack. What's wrong with sticking your head out? Julian stood at the door. He just took a shower. She looks gentler and more serene than usual. There's something I'd like to discuss with you. Can we talk inside? Jagger immediately refused. Just say it here. Julian narrowed his eyes slightly, but still pretended to be a bit troubled as he spoke. I've been trying to land a father role recently. A married image can help me seal the deal faster. So can you announce it that I'm married? Don't worry, your information won't be exposed. Jagger doesn't quite understand the rules of the entertainment industry here. But since the information is being disclosed, so I agreed. After saying that, she was about to close the door. Julian grabbed him by the waist and pulled him out. Ari, come to my room tonight, okay? I prepared a starry skylight. You used to really like it. He gently lifted her chin, lips slowly drawing near. Footsteps could be heard approaching from behind again. Morian's face was full of awkwardness and displeasure. Jagger, come here. I need to talk to you. Jagger instinctively wanted to push Julian away. Unexpectedly, the usually considerate man suddenly stood up again, pressed her lips against hers. While panting, Heko asked her to be good. No matter if she parts her lips trying to deepen the kiss. The door behind me suddenly opened at this moment. Jagger, the whole person, pulled into an ethereal embrace once more. Julian saw this. The voice was cold. How did Mr. Yuan end up in Ari's room? Yuan didn't answer his question directly, but stared at the girl in his arms. What do you think in that instant? The gazes of all three men fell upon Jagger. Jagger felt his scalp tingle with fear, but he quickly put on a very serious expression. It's like this. It's been 2 months since I last went to college. There are too many things I don't understand. I want Professor Yuan to teach me. As soon as the words were spoken, a cold snort was heard. It turns out to be the honorary professor of the Royal Imperial College. Home tutoring dressed like this. Morian stood leaning against the wall. A look of disdain flashed in their eyes. People who don't know better would think Professor Yuan works in the service industry. Yuan raised an eyebrow. You know it well. Looking often? Morian is still young after all. Instantly got fired up. Who the hell keeps looking for me? He instinctively looked at Jagger's reaction, afraid she might actually believe that instigation, mistakenly thinking Ganasolf is unclean. Jagger didn't care at all, still had the nerve to call me out and stir up trouble. You all seem very familiar with each other. Why don't you guys go discuss it among yourselves? Morian was so angry he laughed. He thinks he's sick. I actually care about what this woman thinks. Still worried that she might be affected by the shooting class incident. Just came to check things out. So damn bored. The atmosphere remained tense for a moment. Julian was the first to speak. Professor Yuan is very busy with work. How can I disturb you? As he spoke, he stepped forward and hooked his finger with the girls. Ari, I also graduate full-time last year. What do you want to learn? Let me teach you, okay? He lowered his eyes. The tone is almost seductive. The strength in his fingers was overpowering and left no room for resistance. Such a contrast. It made Jagger instinctively sense danger. Morian couldn't stand Julian's fake innocent act. Only he can teach. I can do it too. Yuan directly declared with dominance. She's mine. All of you, get lost. Jagger is completely numb. The situation that was finally balanced. How did we end up back at square one again? She was just about to speak. The terminal suddenly rang out. Press the answer button. An angry male voice was heard. Jagger, you better listen up. No matter what means you use. I don't like you either. Cut out your little schemes. Let me hear your list words again. Before I could finish, another weak voice chimed in. Rinley, stop talking. Ari didn't mean to do it. Rowan, what do you think? My tone actually had a hint of hesitation, Rowan. You're just too kind-hearted. Time and time again, she's one who screwed me over. If it weren't for her today, you'll get hurt. On the terminal side, Jagger is completely messed up. No, is she part off-tier little game? Every now and then, they drag her out for a spin. She took a deep breath. You're overthinking it. I now have a new person by my side. I've long lost interest in second-hand stuff. After saying that, he hung up the phone directly. Only Belle remains. The atmosphere in the room turned tense upon hearing the word second-hand. It instantly turned eerie. A hint of suspicion flashed in her eyes. The 5 Beast husbands have always claimed that they were never touched by Jagger. But after all, they've been with her for a year now. Really, there isn't any? The mermaid beastman Galen was instantly filled with indignation. She's trying to stir up trouble between them. I think she just found herself a few low-quality beastly husbands, so I'm jealous of you. Hearing the term, inferior best of a husband, Belle's mood has improved quite a bit. That's right, Jagger is just jealous. She smiled and looked at Rowan. Luckily, you were here to protect me today. Reg is so scary. She reached out to hug Rowan. But I noticed the other person's arm was a bit stiff. At this moment, a mechanicalvis sounded in my mind. Warning, target Rowan. Affection points -3. Host, please be aware. Belle couldn't believe it. Ever since I got bound to the strategy system, Rowan is the easiest to win over among the 5 Beast husbands. Why did the favorability suitie drop? And on the other side, Jagger weighed the pros and cons. In the end, Morian was chosen. Ewan is too dangerous. Julian knows the original host all too well. Only Morian. Because they have a contractual relationship with me. Safer. Thinking of the other 2 Beast husbands fighting to the death over you. Reap the benefits with it, lifting a finger. Morian smirked smugly. But when the girl sat beside him, he froze up all over again. Nervous to the point of being speechless. Yet the other party remained completely unaware. Instead, they got closer and closer, even grabbing onto his shoulders with both hands. The beautiful face slowly moved closer. The next second, her fingers had Ariadinched the furry tip of his ear. Morian's pupils trembled in shock. What is she doing? She doesn't know. Touching a beastman's ears means you were hitting on them, right? The ears are a highly sensitive feature of feline beasts. Morian was holding back at first. But Jagger showed no signs of stopping at all. What's even more infuriating is, she didn't show the slightest hint of romantic intimacy. Instead, he grinned cheekily. Playing with the dog. Morian couldn't take it anymore. Hold her wrist. Have you had enough of touching? Jagger reluctantly gave it another squeeze. The plush hug feels soft and bouncy to the touch. Let's get started. Morian was taken aback. Start what? Jagger grabbed him. Turn people towards your own direction. Don't worry, your words hold come out soon. Morian gnashed her teeth and cut her off. Who are you saying is fast? Jagger winks. Your pollution level is less than 20%. The spiritual healing will come quickly. This is what the Marriage and Childbirth Center's pamphlet says. The screen also made his head feel as if it had been struck hard. After all that, turns out it was just about mental healing. But he would never admit that he misunderstood. Who told you to give him spiritual healing? Mind your own business. Jagger was speechless. Isn't it what you wrote in the contract? She was talking. From the drawer, he found the contract the 2 had previously signed, pointing to the small print noted above. Additional notes. Party B is responsible for providing spiritual healing services to Party A at least once a month. Otherwise, a 10 fee will be deducted. Now, it's Mori Ant's turn to be speechless. It's all because of lack of education. This contract was drafted by a buddy he asked to help out. Didn't expect there was this option. He awkwardly turned his face away. Forget it, it's not needed now. Jagger felt a bit regretful upon hearing this. She still wanted to practice her skills on Morian. There's no chance now. Alright then, I'll go change into my pajamas. You're sleeping on the couch tonight. Just turned around and reached out my hand. Was caught by Morian. His tone sounded a bit unnatural. What were you doing touching your ear just now? Jagger's tone was ordinary. Help you relax a bit. The manual says. You can help him relax by stroking the characteristics of his skin. Morian cursed under his breath. What bullshit manual? All day long, you never teach anything decent. Jagger saw this and leaned in closer to him. Hey! You don't actually think I'm going to do something to you, do you? Morian instinctively lifted Jaching up and roared. Who the hell wants to eat your leftovers? After speaking, he saw the girl shelf smiling, half-mocking gaze. I wish I could slap myself silly. Isn't this just a Cassioff protesting too much? By the time I commito my senses again, Jagger had already turned around and gone to the wardrobe to change into his pajamas. The room was eerily silent. It makes the girl seem sparse and scattered. The sound of changing clothes was unusually clear. Morian suddenly felt extremely hot and restless. He pulled out his terminal. Give me a number. He lashed out with a barrage of accusations. Who the hell told you to change the contract? Just post it. I immediately heard footsteps coming from behind. He hurriedly closed his eyes until the sound of the girl's soft, steady breathing could be heard. He finally relaxed, slowly falling into a dream. In the dream, he was kneeling on the ground, grabbed by the hair with one hand. Raising my head, the Jagger in front of me spoke softly and coldly. Morian, what did I teach you? You don't even know how to serve people properly. He opened his mouth to argue something. He merely lifted the other hand and kissed the back of it. Please don't be angry. The master girl smiled slightly, gently stroking the top of his head. Then he leaned down and kissed her. The soft touch met lips in an instant. Morian suddenly opened his eyes. He rolled off the couch and onto the floor with a twist of his body. Feeling something off about myself. He looked down and saw Zhao King, who was unusually energetic. Silence. Deafening. At this moment, the terminal vibrated slightly. He picked it up and took a look. It's that unreliable friend. The other person says hello to you. After that, he was checked. No unnecessary changes were made. And now that it's signed, it can't be changed anymore. And advised him to stop tampering with the pollution data. Otherwise, I can't control the human form. If His Majesty finds out, we're done for. Morian couldn't be bothered with him. He just tossed the terminal aside. Close your eyes. The gloomy and suffocating scenes keep swirling before my eyes. Countless negative emotions stirred up violent impulses in his heart. Footsteps sounded from behind. Morian's restraint reached its limit. He suddenly reached back with his hand. Grabbed Jagger. He pinned her down on the sofa. Jagger's drowsiness vanished in an instant. In the backlight, she couldn't make out Morian's expression. Saw the beast ears on the other person's head. Gave a slight shake. As if waiting for her to reach out and touch. Jagger inexplicably reassured it and gently pinched it. Morian suddenly froze all over. The violence in his eyes quickly faded away. Restore King Ming Festival. Jagger couldn't help but chuckle at the sight. You really love having your ears touched, huh? Tsk. The princess' little quirks. Morian suddenly stood up. What kind of weird habit is that? Shut the hell up and stand still. The door was knocked on. Julian's worried voice came through. Ari, I heard a sound coming from inside. Are you okay? Jimmy also clicked his tongue impatiently. What could possibly happen with him around? Is this vixen actually waiting right outside the door? After hearing Jagger say it was fine, Julian finally let out a sigh of relief. That's good. I've already made breakfast. It's the century egg on lean pork congee you like. After breakfast, Yin Nuo flew the aircraft to take Jagger to the academy. Before leaving, Julian reluctantly saw them off to the garage. I asked for the third time. You really don't need me to see you off. Jagger still shook his head. He lowered his eyes and sighed. I'm sorry. Did I cause you trouble at the academy yesterday? From childhood to adulthood. I'll only bring you trouble. It's only natural that you don't like me. You go to the academy. I'll stay at home properly. I won't go out and embarrass you anymore. No. You didn't let me down. Jagger suddenly grabbed the other person's hand. I don't know what's going on with him. Seeing him so down, I actually felt an intense sense of guilt. Listen to me. I'm not looking down on you. You're a big star. So many fans. If you stay by me side all along, fans will get angry. Julian quietly watched her for a while. Bend down and lean closer. Deep, husky voice. Ari, I'm entering the entertainment industry. Just want you to see me more often. If you think my work is a hassle, I can attract. My true dream. I've always been a good husband to you. This heartfelt confession is so deep it even borders on self-deprecation. Jagger was left stunned on the spot. Before, she whispered out of her mind. I just searched Julian's name on the internet. Overwhelmingly positive news is everywhere. Gentle, composed, and maintaining personal integrity are practically his trademarks. And he once publicly stated, I'm running for election just for the girl I like. Back then, Jagger was still shocked. I didn't expect Julian to look like such a party animal. The result turned out to be so innocent. Yet now, what shocked her even more was Julian's so-called white moonlight turned out to be herself. My little heart ice-pounding uncontrollably. But she quickly snapped out of it. No, it's not her. Since the original owner is like this, then she should stay even further away from him. If it turns out the personality has changed, what should I do if I want to perish together with myself? Make you take a step back. When I looked up again, my face was already filled with sincerity. I remember, you still have to join the crew for filming soon. Picking me up isn't a trivial matter. Let Yunuo handle it. Julian was astonished by her even greater aloofness. Wants to explain. The person has already left. It felt like a giant hand was squeezing my heart. Julian felt like couldn't breathe. My vision keeps going black. The pollution levels seem to have gotten worse again. If we keep staying like this, I'm afraid even humanoid forms will be hard to control. His ears drooped like a pitiful drowned dog. Jagger casually glanced back without thinking. Saw this scene. I feel inexplicably a bit guilty. She hesitated for a few seconds. He turned around and ran back again. Julian looked up. The girl came straight towards him. The light fell on her hair and skirt, sparkling like starlight. The figure from the past seems to overlap with the present. He instinctively reached out his hand. Jagger stopped in front of him. Placed something in the palm of his hand. I'm going to school. You keep up the good work at your job too. Then she stood on tiptoe, gently patted him on the head. Inner restlessness and darkness vanished into thin air the moment it was touched. Julian stood in place for a long time, until the aircraft completely disappeared her from sight. He spread open his palm. It turned out to be 3 pieces of white rabbit milk candy. Just like when I was a kid. He smirked and turned his head. But I saw Morian standing behind me, looking pissed off. He slowly and deliberately placed the milk candy into his mouth, saying hello while. Has His Highness the Crown Prince not left yet? Morian sneered. None of your damn business. Facing his rejection, Julian just smiled. Just so happens I have something to say too. He walked forward. The smile on his face slowly faded away. This family, the female lead, is the only standard. If you make her unhappy again, I won't stand on ceremony. Morian sneered disdainfully. Jagger still left too soon. You should stay and take a good look. This fox spirit is Sucha, two-faced hypocrite. Still patting his head. Haven't even touched my own. Wait. Hold up. Got off track. He quickly dismissed the strange thoughts in his mind. You really think Avarion is like you? Always thinking about chasing after some girl. So fond of seducing. Why didn't Shekus you last night? Julian's gaze grew even colder. But soon, a faint smile appeared. Last night, nothing happened between you guys. Right? Morian's expression froze. I can see you're just too jealous, starting to fantasize. After saying that, he quickly walked into his aircraft. Step on the gas and go. Vanished without a trace in an instant. Once again left alone, Julian curled his lips into a faint smile. As expected, nothing happened. I just don't know when. Ari could only then less resistant to him. Could it be that we have to get rid of those troublesome ones to make it work? The terminal rang with the agent's call, interrupting his venomous train of thought. Liu Wu wanted to double-check. Is he really going to announce that he's married? After all, this will have an impact on his career. Julian's voice wasn't loud. Yet it feels quite oppressive. Announcing that I'm married isn't up for discussion with you. Is this a notice? Liu Wu immediately fell silent. He almost forgot that the Bailey family was the wealthiest in the 12 cities. He's not short on the measly peanuts he earns from acting. Back then, Julian decided to enter the entertainment industry. Just because his first love said he's very photogenic. If he becomes a celebrity, I'll watch his movies. I only started chasing him later. The female left without saying a word. He had no choice but to keep waiting. But today, he actually said he got married. Liu Wu didn't Dareto ask too much. I can only proceed with caution and test the waters. Is it her coming back? Got a positive answer. Liu Wu was also happy for him. Then can I gossip a bit about your female owner? Which celebrity ornable lady is this? Julian's tone was uncharacteristically boastful. She's very famous. Calling him Jagger was actually a jag. Wait, Jagger is the one who's been throwing herself at those 5 beastly men. Ended up being thoroughly disliked. Has been featured in gossip magazines multiple times. Still acting like a bitch, bullying classmates without changing her wicked ways. Jagger Liu in Dishivaledkis amidst the wind. But still spread the news hat Julian is married. Officially announced through the company's official account. Not even a few minutes. The internet is down. A whole bunch of people are trying to dig up who Julian's white moonlight is. But he hid it too well. There's simply no way to dig into it. Jagger was completely of this. She got off the aircraft at side gate of the academy. Turned around to say goodbye to Yunuo. The other person looked at her hesitantly, Sif wanting to say something but holding back. The young miss has contacted me again. He hopes you'll take him off the blacklist. Jagger was stunned. Evan Zhang, the biological elder brother of the original owner. In that book, it was all for the sister. The second villain, how wants to kill the male lead. She is also the person closest to the original host in this world. The original book doesn't have a content about Evan Zhang. Just know he's a total siskin. A very classic plot. It was 3 years ago when heckled 3 noble males for his sister. After that, he was exiled to the lower district. According to the plot, he won't be able to return to the first district until next year. After learning of his sister's death, he went on a rampage. Later, she was redeemed by the female lead. That, and this. As for the girl next door, it's just one part of the 2-person play. Jagger frowned. A look of disgust, as if he'd just swallowed a fly. Tentative liaskect. Are you unhappy? Still don't want to contact young Master Yuchen? Don't want to wait for him to call me back? Let's talk about it later. But the thought of him possibly getting involved with Belle in the future, my chest feels tight and painful, and I'm having trouble breathing. After saying that, she turned and left. At this moment, at Thenanth District Headquarters, the handsome young man sat casually in the main seat, staring intently at the countless screens in front of him without blinking. Every record clearly captured the girl's elegant figure. She's very restless in class, sometimes reading, sometimes lying on the desk. Every now and then, I chat with the ladies around me. This female seems to be Theon, who reminded her last time. Yuan is the professor's. The name is Celeste Lin. Evan Zhang was thinking absent-mindedly, hearing the vibration from the terminal. He answered the call and coldly uttered a single word. A hesitant voice came from the other side. The people the boss sent to assassinate Tuan were all severely injured. Evan Zhang frowned, but the voice remained calm. Give them double the compensation. Apply for leave. Thank you. The other side spoke again. All those sent to hunt down the other one have gone missing. Then send another team over. Evan Zhang said coldly. Hung up the phone. He raised his eyes and continued looking at the screen. But suddenly, his brows furrowed tightly. Just a few short seconds. Didn't notice. That guy named Rowan sat right behind Jagger. A pair of eyes stared intently at the back of her head, hesitating to speak. Evan Zhang snared contemplatively, pathetic trash. Then he picked up the terminal and sent a message. 2 minutes later, the professor at the podium called on Rowan. Stand up, Endens were the question. Rowan suddenly stood up, but couldn't give a proper explanation. He hurriedly picked up the book and glanced through it. Caught a glimpse of the passage Jagger was pointing at. Hurry up and read it out. After dealing with it, Hess sat down with the red face. He just knew. Jagger says he hates himself. Actually, I still can't let it go. What a two-faced bitch. Of course, he didn't know. Jagger was just too sleepy. If it weren't for pointing fingers, force yourself to read word by word. She had already dozed off long ago. Rowan slumped his head onto the table. I just feel my ears getting hotter and hotter. This feeling is very strange. It seems like it should have been this way all along. At the same time, in another classroom sat Belle, suddenly received a system notification. Romance target. Rowan's favorability rose by 5. Punish the host by deducting 1 beauty point. Charm points -1. Belle was suddenly startled. A cry of surprise came from the female beside him. Why do you have pimples? Getting acne is perfectly normal for most people. But it's not normal when it comes to Belle. Because ever since she turned to the first district, it's just within the noble circle. A universal icon will dwek natural beauty. Now, even he's breaking out like a normal person. Belle hurriedly lied that she needed to go to the bathroom. He hurried into the bathroom, standing in front of the mirror. She clearly saw the mark on her own forehead. A small red pimple popped up. Instantly let out an uncontrollable, short scream. Didn't I just make up for the lost favorability with Rowan last night? Why did it drop again? We had a clear agreement before. I just need to keep conquering high-quality men. You can have it all. No one said there will be punishment. I want to report you. The system remained silent for a few seconds. It might be because Rowan is too far away from the host, distracted by other things. Temporarily immunito charm items. Hard to maintain favorability. It is suggested that the host can bind with other males, making a strategy. Belle's eyes lit up upon hearing this. The favorability ratings of Al5 Beast husbands are now above 90%. If you want the price to goop, you've got to mark it up. Too bad I have to wait another year before I can marry them. Might as well go find a new guy. Then help me search for the next high-quality males around me. A few minutes later, the system helped her find the 4 highest quality males nearby. The result turned out to be Morianian Yuan and Yin Nuo. Belle looked at the few names, completely clueless. Aeon and Yin Nuo beings rank is understandable. But the other Tware S-class trash. This can hardly be considered a high-quality male. The system then told her. High-quality males are determined based on a comprehensive score. Belle's brows furrowed and then relaxed. Alright then, let's see who we'll start with first. On the other side, Jagger finished class. Just about to go for afternoon tea with Celeste Lin. Morian walked toward her with a dark expression. However, halfway through the journey, but was suddenly stopped by Belle, who popped out of nowhere. Her face flushed with shyness, her voice soft and delicate. Your Highness the Crown Prince. Who would have thought? The other person acted like they didn't hear a thing. Go straight ahead. Belle hurriedly grabbed the hem of his clothes. The voice called out again, softer this time. Morian finally noticed this shorty. He frowned. The tone couldn't hide the impatience. Who the hell are you? Belle was startled by his aggressive attitude. I am Belle. You forgot? We used to take shooting classes together before. Morian narrowed his eyes. Finally remember Redwo, this guy is. Turns out it was the female who stole Jagger's 5 useless beast husbands. Both of them have equally bad taste. I can't believe you actually like those lowlifes. At this moment, the system's voice suddenly rang out. Strategy target Moriant's variability decreased by 10. Punish the host by deducting 2 beauty points. Charm points -3. First love snow skin prop expired for 3 weeks. In an instant, Belle's world came crashing down. She raised her hand to touch her cheek and found it slightly uneven. Morian raised his eyes to glance in that direction where Jagger had disappeared. The words carried an irritation himself hadn't noticed. What the hell do you want? Belle finally calmed down. Ari didn't reply to my message yesterday. I want to apologize to her. She has liked Rowan for so long. I shouldn't have teamed up with Rowan. Morian found it utterly baffling after hearing it. If you have something to say, go say it yourself. None of my damn business. That being said, but listening to Belle say over and over how much she likes Rowan. She always used to be in the same group as Rowan before. His expression grew increasingly grim. Looks like I was just a backup yesterday. He's going to settle the score with that little liar Jagger right now. Thinking to myself, I took off the leather jacket that had been touched. Throw it straight into the trash. The force was so strong that trash can shook several times. Belle felt like she had been struck. Staggering back unsteadily. Suddenly pulled back by Rowan. Big sis, what's wrong with you? She lowered her head even further. Voice choked up. What should I do? My face is ruined. Would you look down on me? Rowan nervously raised his voice. No. When I saw Belly soon of cheeks. Still, his pupil slightly contracted. Who's been bullying you again? Belle's tears immediately began to patter down. Don't blame cousin. It was my own carelessness. You've upset her and His Highness the Prince. It's Jagger again. Rowan gnashed his teeth in anger. She won't let you off easy if she's the one who made you like this. And Jagger still doesn't know he's being set up again. She and Celeste Lin were shopping at the mall, seeing beautiful clothes. The two of them went into the fitting rooms to try on the clothes. Jagger is holding this skirt. I don't know if there's a problem with the zipper. Stuck and not moving. She was feeling a bit anxious. Just then, the door behind me was open. And then slammed shut again. The footsteps outside the door were clearly a bit panicked. She thought it was Celeste Lin and quickly asked for help. Celeste Lin, can you give me a hand? The door paused, then opened again. A hand wrapped around hers. With a slight effort, the zipper was pulled up. Jagger breathed a sigh of relief, just about to say thanks. Look up. Then, reflected in the mirror was Morian's tall figure. She quickly turned around, raised her hand to push him away. But the other person suddenly lipped me against the wall. Why are you avoiding me?